Hey guys, welcome to Ampersand Unique Gifts and Home Decor. I am getting ready to head out to my part-time job at Coke Auction Services. But before I go, I wanted to share these just a couple little springtime thrift flips. So check them out. Let me know in the comments what you think, which one's your favorite. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would love if you would consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this out to your friends. So thanks. See you on the flip side. First up, we have a couple picture frames that I picked up at Goodwill. They were half off, and I probably still paid too much for them, but they were $2.99, so I got them for $1.50. And then I dropped my phone on this one and broke it, and I'm going to have to repair it. Does everyone's Goodwill write in Sharpie on the back of everything? Totally drives me nuts. You have to come up with creative ways sometimes to work around that. But I am going to give these a totally fresh new look. So I start with taking the glass out of that one. I move over to the second one to take the glass out of this, only to realize it's actually plexiglass. I hadn't noticed that. So I decide I am going to actually pry off the entire back, and then I will just glue it back together after I finish it. So I just take my little scraper and poke in there and pry that glue off. It came off really easy, much easier than I expected. Plexiglass, everything was still in perfect shape, and I just pried off that glue and it's ready to glue back on. This one had pearls on it, but half of them were missing, so I just took my little pliers here and my little whatever they are and pulled off all of that. And then to seal the crack, I use the CA glue, that's super glue, and you just put that in there and then you spray it with the accelerator, and in 15 seconds it is rock hard, ready to go. Then just taking these little things out, make sure you put any kind of screws or things that you take out in a place that you will not lose them. I have these cute little cups, and I just save everything in there when I'm working on a project. So this paint, it's the color Vintage, and it is the Americana Decor chalk paint, and it is so thick and it goes on really well. I was able to kind of stipple it in there and cover it. It was just amazing how you couldn't see the little black feet or any of the color on there. And I painted over where I repaired it. You'll see in the reveal that you can't even see it. So that's with one coat. Now we're doing our second coat. But again, I mean, see how great the coverage is on that? This paint, I've actually had it for a really long time, so it's probably thicker than it was even originally. But it was just a perfect color. It looks blue here, but I have to admit it's a little bit greener than it's coming through. It's kind of like, if you're used to DIY, it is Farm Fresh meets Apothecary. Ended up painting the back of them. It was just the only way I could think of to really cover up that Sharpie on there. So I painted the back of them. It's like a felt, and it took that paint beautifully. I'm sorry, I'm kind of off camera here. But then I covered everything in the white wax. So this is DIY white wax. Cover everything really well, and then I took a rag and wiped off all of the excess, leaving that white wax down in all the grooves. I did both the front and the back, including that kind of velvety paper cardboard back that was on there. And again, the paint and the white wax did really well on this as well. So you can see here, you just kind of wipe off. You can do it as often as you like. You can get it in there and leave as much white as you want. Then I'm going to go ahead and clean both the plexiglass and the glass that's going back in the frames, just to make sure everything's, not got my fingerprints all over it. It was kind of hard with the wax all over me. I kept leaving fingerprints and everything. But I just went ahead and set that on there and then added in, I used glue. It's Beacon 3-in-1 glue. It is like hot glue in a bottle. It dries very fast and it is very strong. The difference between that and the hot glue, of course, is that this will actually adhere longer, where hot glue you can kind of peel off. So I just made sure everything was even, and I'm going to put that glue around the edge, and it glues down that piece of plexiglass, and then that holds it underneath that piece of cardboard with the velvety stuff on it. But you can see how beautiful that covered, and it was a great way to cover up that Sharpie. They mark it's the initials of the person that took it and then the week that they took it, and that's how they keep track of what goes on sale and what color and all of that. So I understand why they do it. I just wish they could find a way to do that somewhere that wasn't quite so hard to cover up. But I went ahead and glued that all down and just held it and flipped it upside down so that the weight of the picture frame would kind of hold it in there. So here I am putting the little glass holder and back attachments back on, and I will put my clean glass back in here and put my back on and screw those down tight. And then it's finished. I will show you in the reveal how cute it turned out. So I hope you like it. Move on to the second one. So this next project is, I picked this up at Goodwill, and for those of you that are about to panic because I'm painting over a vintage bunny planner, there's at least a dozen of them out there on eBay. If you want one in its original color, I guarantee there'll be one out there. But we're using the same color in vintage, and I put 2 coats on here. I think one probably would have been enough, but I went ahead and just sealed it really well with that second coat to make sure there weren't any places that came through. Our third one is a wood cutout. This is from Target from last year or the year before. And that paint, I only did 1 coat on here because that raw wood was just, it did really well. The chalk paints are by far easier to use. So then taking my IOD stamp, I can't remember the name of it, I will put it in the description. I wrote the word hop here, and using the IOD wax, this is actually the removable white wax, but when you seal it, then it is no longer removable and becomes a solid good wax. I load up my ink pad. I always use the ink pad with the wax. You don't have to. You can use a brayer or a paintbrush, but I use that because it's easier for me. And I put my letters where they're going to go, and then I use this plastic to adhere them to so that when I go to put them back on, I don't have to worry about dropping one or accidentally touching it. So then I just flip my pad over, ink everything up really well. And I do this a couple different ways. It depends on what I'm doing, but the key is to put it down and not let it shift. You'll see I do actually shift it just a little bit when I go to hold on to it. See, there it is. This one is not that bad because it doesn't have some of the intricate designs like some of the others, where if you moved it that much, it would smear it. But sometimes I'll take a brayer and just go over it with the brayer to make sure that all of the letters are down tight. So this one I didn't want to use the white wax because I used the white ink on my letter. So I'm just using the DIY clear wax here, and I give everything a good coverage. So now here we are. I hope that you like the way that they turned out. Here is my first little sheep, and you can't even tell where I repaired it, and that glue is very strong, so that will hold it. I did end up adding some transfers inside. I just felt like it needed something that, even though this is a picture frame and the new owner can put whoever they want in there, their family, they could also leave it as decor with that really cute little transfer in there. And I just wanted to show you the back of how great that paint covered that back. Same thing here with my cute little lamb. I didn't put any pearls or anything back on her, but I don't think she's even missing them. And added that little IOD inside there again, so you can use it as decor, or of course you can open the back and put the picture of your choice inside. So, and here we have our back. Everything just went great. Here's our new and improved, in my opinion, let me know what you think, vintage planter. And these flowers are just poked down in here. I don't ever glue any of them down in case somebody wants to do something different when they buy it. And here's our hop. Both sides got the letters HOP, and I didn't do anything else to it except that I had distressed it. Before I put the letters on there, I went ahead and distressed the edges a little bit just because I thought it gave it a little bit more farmhouse look. But I just really love the way all these came out. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.